Does it keep doing that? Okay, fix yourself. What is going on with my Tickfinity? My Tickfinity's acting up. It's fine. I'll play music while we wait. It's cool. You're totally fine, Justin. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate you. Olive. Hello, hello. Good morning. Sorry, starts up something else right after. But good morning, good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. I appreciate you guys being here on this Tuesday. Yes, it's Titties Out Tuesday. So welcome in. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful morning, wonderful afternoon, a wonderful I can't with you. Wonderful Tuesday. Guys, if we're over here on TikTok, let's make sure we're starting to do all the good things. Tap that screen, share the live out, do your daily heart if you have not done so. You guys accomplish those roses really easily. I've got the little I'm cool. Is it a smiley face? I thought it might be a chick. I don't know. If we could get those accomplished, that would be great. Again, you can repost it, add it to your stories, share it to 5 friends. All of that does help boost us onto the algorithm. Maybe we can actually have some conversations today. I would appreciate it. I'm also multi-streaming, so I am on YouTube and Twitch. If you want to go over there, you can follow or subscribe for free on YouTube. And then we have subscriptions on Twitch, memberships on YouTube. You can send super chats. Sometimes the chats get too fast and I can't see them, so it makes it easier for me to be able to read them, and it also does support me, which I appreciate. But if you would like to support in the best way possible, because this is my job, I have my 100 goal that I have every single day. I would appreciate if we could start getting that down today. In the link tree in my bio, I have my Cash App, my Venmo, and my PayPal. If you could help with that, I would appreciate it. I do this for a job. Tip your content creators. We work really hard to be on here. We get a lot of shit, especially as a woman. I get a lot of different kind of shit from these Trump supporters than the regular person does. So I'd appreciate it if we could do that. That would be awesome. So I'll get that, open that. How is everybody today? 69 burp rate. Okay. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Oh, ma'am, I'm 19, and
what year were you born?
Trump. 18, and
Nope, you just said 19. What year were you born? That's what I thought. Go back to school, sweetie. Don't do it yet, babe. Don't do it. It's okay. Don't do it yet. We're okay. Yes, I did straighten my hair today. I wanted just my hair straightened today. I was feeling it. Okay, so we'll get started today. Guys, just make sure we're doing all the good things so that I don't have to be mean to you. I don't like being mean to you. I think you guys like it, which, you know, I don't kink shame. I do kink ask why. Maybe I'm just more of a praise kink kind of girl, but that's okay. If you're not, I can degrade you too. But you gotta pay for it.
I want praise.
You're a good girl, Olive.
Yeah.
Okay. As we get going today, someone tell me what this means. We're all taking our.
You might have gotten some of my praises, by the way.
It's all right. This is a child's number who I have to block now because I guess they don't understand caller ID. We'll get started. Chicky, are you in here? I have to see if Chicky's in here. Well, yep. Chicky is here. Chicky, we are going to get started with our day with our favorite Red Bull good boy golden retriever. I'm always watching. It's crazy. With Harry Enton on voters, on Trump, and inflation. Again, before we get started, I'll bring it up so you can see his source is going to be Enton's aggregate. What that usually means is he takes all of the polling in regards to inflation on Trump. That's Fox News, that's Ipsos, YouGov, that's Reuters, that's CNN, that's MS Now, NBC, ABC. You aggregate them, you average them all together to see where he is. So let's look at that. No, this is not a pro-Trump stream. This is a anti-fascist stream where we actually, regardless of political party, hold our politicians accountable. I don't care who they are, we hold them accountable. I don't have that clip today. Damn it. I don't know where to fit it, but I need it. I gotta find that fucking Schumer clip so I can rip into him too. Okay. But here is Harry Enton.
I'll look for it.
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Message me on Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Americans say inflation is the #1 issue facing them right now. And to quote the great Happy Gilmore, according to them, the price is wrong when it comes to the President of the United States. Just take a look at these net approval ratings when it comes to inflation. The President of the United States is hitting all-time record lows in all of these polls, and all of them. NBC came out yesterday, 36 points underwater. CBS came out a few weeks ago, 38 points underwater. Ipsos, Reuters, 43 points underwater. CNN came out earlier this month, 45 points underwater. And taking the cake is UMass Amherst, 47.
Oh, look, I didn't even have to do it. He did it for me. Because you guys, CNN! Surprised you guys haven't yelled it yet. CNN! Here's the polling on inflation. NBC, CBS, Ipsos, CNN, and UMass polling. Again, I will always say polling is a small sample of the whole, obviously, and it's usually only within like a week's worth of time. And yet, there is no, you're right, Art Pizza, there was no Fox poll on this one. I'm sure they've done them. I've showed you actually Fox News polls. One of my favorite clips was somebody freaking out in my YouTube chat when I was showing Harry Enton, who was literally sourcing a Fox News poll. But maybe Fox didn't do one on inflation specifically. Again, it's always different topics, different sample sizes, different amounts of time. My thing is that you are going to be hard pressed to find a poll who has him in a favorable position. Even Rasmussen, which is the most right-leaning of them all, has him in his overall general approval at about 40%. Not great. So, cool.
Points underwater across all of these polls. Trump is in his worst position ever on the issue that the American people say
the polls are lying. Okay.
Over and over and over again is their key number one issue.
Was it always thus?
No, it wasn't this always thus, Mr. Berman. And this is what is so amazing to me. I mean, these shifts that we're just seeing, my goodness gracious. Voters on Trump and inflation. In the 2024 election, remember, Trump got...
Phone. He just showed you it wasn't just CNN. It's his aggregate of all the other polls. Okay.
Re-elected to a second term, and Joe Biden got pushed to the curb in large part because Americans felt he couldn't handle inflation. Trump was more trusted than Kamala Harris on inflation by 7 points. Look at his net approval right now. You average...
You guys are on your shit again. Rick. No, not Rick. Excuse me. Mr. Good Citizen saying should even be allowed to vote. I'm glad that you can't spell. Equal suffrage. But why don't women have to sign up for selective service? Why do men have to sign up for selective service? How about we just get rid of that altogether? That's a better solution than saying I'm fucked because of what men did to me, so I'm going to oppress women in order to do so. How about you just say I'm fucked because of what the patriarchy does to all of us and actually get rid of that? You could have just done that. You're right, Jess. Aggregate is too big a word.
All those polls on the first side of your screen, 42 points underwater. That is a nearly 50-point shift away from the President of the United States.
A nearly 50-point shift. That's bad. What's worse?
Yeah, what's worse? You think this is bad, a nearly 50-point shift. How about a 70-point shift? I'm laughing because you never see numbers like this. Look at this. Independence on Trump and inflation. In the 2024 election versus Harris, Trump was favored by 10 points. Down he goes. Down he goes. He's down to 60 points underwater on inflation. That is a 70-point shift in a little bit less than 2 years worth of time. John Berman and I are big baseball fans. And I will tell you, I'm going to go to Trump's home borough in Queens because, to be honest, it's the only comparison I can think of. Donald Trump is in worse shape on inflation right now than the New York Metropolitans are in the NL East. That is how bad. And what, the Mets just lose their 11th straight game?
At a certain point, you stop counting because there's so many. There's two things I just want to point out quickly here. The two words that matter so much here are, independence and inflation. These are two areas the president did well on in the last election.
He did well. This is what is happening here.
Do you guys want to see a Fox poll? I don't have one on inflation specifically, but I have one that they did in March, which seems to be the newest one I can find. I can totally show it to you in just a moment if you would like. Would you guys like that? Or are you going to cry about those numbers too? It's from Fox. It's their actual site. We'll show it. It's okay.
The strengths that Donald Trump once had with the electorate, the things that got him elected to a second term, you can wave adios amigos goodbye to them. And why that's so important is even though Trump isn't on the ballot come November, a lot of Republicans in Congress are on the ballot. And if these numbers hold, you can wave adios amigos goodbye. See you later. Certainly that House majority and maybe that Senate majority as well.
Harold Linton, thank you very much.
It's looking worse and worse for y'all. Here. I just got to bring it over. Fox News. You guys recognize this website, right? Fox News poll. This was in March. If you guys can find me a newer one, I would appreciate it. But this is from March. This was published March 26th. Fox News poll. Fox News. Fox News. Fox News. I'm making sure you guys are aware since you're crying. Okay? Okay. Voters are not only dissatisfied with the direction of the country, but also pessimistic about the economic outlook, financially strained in their own lives, and unconvinced Washington leaders are in touch or will offer solutions. Nearly 2/3, 64%, are dissatisfied with how things are going in the U.S. Cool. Satisfaction with direction of country down 5 points since December. Here's your dissatisfied number, 64%. Okay? Okay. Satisfied, 36%. Not doing well. Let's go. Voters think nation's leaders are out of touch. Congressional Democrats are out of touch. Yep, I would agree with that. Congressional Republicans out of touch. Yep, I would agree with that. The White House is out of touch. Yep, I would agree with that. I think we have an issue with messaging with the Democrats. I think Republicans are out of touch because all they're doing is glazing the taint of the president, who has no care about the temperature of the country at all. He does not give a fuck how the people feel. He doesn't have to because he doesn't have to campaign anymore. And so that's where we're at with that. Congressional Democrats need to work on their messaging. A lot of people are dissatisfied with them and have been dissatisfied with them. The only thing I will say is right now they can't do anything. So I don't know what you want them to do. But I'm not a Democrat. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. All right. 34% approval for the economy is another new low, down 6 points since January, 9 points from a year ago. Here's his job performance. So you've got the overall, again, approve, disapprove. Okay, disapproval is at 59%. His border security, he's about at 50-50, which makes sense because all you guys have left is your racism without understanding the law. Totally fine. Immigration, though, in and of itself, right? The border security aspect, people are 50-50 on. The immigration aspect of what he's actually doing to humans, 56% are dissatisfied. Foreign policy, 62% are dissatisfied. Taxes, 64% are dissatisfied. Iran, 64% are dissatisfied. Healthcare, 64% are dissatisfied. The economy, oh look, the inflation is there. Yay! The economy, 66% are dissatisfied. Inflation, 71% are dissatisfied. Fox News poll. Okay? You feel better now that it wasn't CNN or all the sites that you say aren't credible? You feel better now? Do you? We'll put that over here because that's where it's going to go when it goes in my outline for my sources because I keep them. Aaron, I'm also a registered independent, but that doesn't mean that you hate all politicians. If you're still voting, you're obviously leaning a certain way for a certain reason. Okay. Let's get to some news before we get started here today. Again, I'm just using them because it's easier for them to announce it than for me to announce it.
We do have breaking news from the White House. The Trump administration has just announced a cabinet-level departure. I want to get straight to CNN's Kristen Holmes on the North Lawn. Kristen, who is it? What's happening?
Well, right now, we know that the Secretary of Labor, Lori Chavez-Dreamer, who has been under a months-long investigation, is leaving the administration. I want to get right to this post we saw from Stephen Chung, who does communications here at the White House, who said Labor Secretary Lori Chavez-Dreamer will be leaving the administration to take a position in the private sector. She has done a phenomenal job in her role by protecting American workers, enacting fair labor practices, and helping Americans gain additional skills to improve their lives. Keith Sonderling will take the role of acting Secretary of Labor. Okay, so a couple things to keep in mind here. There are only two other people that we know have left the cabinet. They are Attorney General Pam Bondi and Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. We had been talking about who was going to be next to leave. There was widespread concern within the White House that because of this investigation into Chavez-Dreamer, it would be her and that there would be a lot of backlash over the fact that it would be 3 women who were removed from the cabinet. Now, we don't know whether or not she resigned from this position or if she was fired by President Trump. You can hear this very explicitly vague context here by saying she's leaving the administration. But that had been a concern among many officials in the White House, that 3 of the cabinet officials that were gone were women. Just to give
Okay, and then we'll get into more of the reasoning. It's not just her, but there's all sorts of allegations regarding her and her husband. We never got a chance to cover, but we will get into that. But real quick, I just want to say, another one bites the dust. That's about 3 within a month and a half. Cash Patel's not looking good, by the way, since he's like a raging drunkard, which seems to be an issue, because that was also accusations for her. Seems to be an issue within this administration.
We're back with new reporting. First to MS Now. Former workplace discrimination complaints lodged against Labor Secretary Lori Chavez-DeRemer. MS Now broke this reporting that at least 3 people are accusing the Labor Secretary of creating a toxic workplace environment and seeking retaliation against women who reported her husband for sexual misconduct in her office, according to 2 sources familiar with the allegations. Let's bring in MS Now senior investigative reporter Carol Leonnig. Carol, what more are we learning about these complaints?
Yeah, Chris, when we got you get the like prescription list from the White House, they were all on pills. His first term, yeah.
You know, Anna, this is the 3rd federal agency or federal law enforcement unit that's now faced with complaints about the secretary's conduct, behavior, and also allegations of sexual touching, unwanted sexual touching by her husband. This is a series of recent complaints filed under the Equal Opportunity Employment Commission rules, which are basically about discrimination in the workplace. And these employees together paint a picture of Secretary Chavez-DeRemer as creating a toxic workplace, a hostile workplace, where she would punish or retaliate against those who spoke up about inappropriate behavior, either by her or requests by her or inappropriate conduct.
Jimmy, I don't know why you can't stay on topic. Nobody here is talking about that, but if you need to, okay? A woman is an adult human whose gender identity aligns with their personal schema on the female sex, but you don't know what any of those words mean, so I would shut the fuck up about it. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
My age is 45. My name is Eric, and I voted for Trump in the last 2 elections.
Okay, what state did you vote in?
South Carolina, both times.
Okay. Why are you still supporting Trump?
I think he's hilarious, and he's honest and blunt and direct, and it's refreshing to see in a politician.
He's honest?
I think he tells truth, that he says the quiet part out loud that a lot of people aren't willing to say or don't have the guts to say.
Like what?
Let's see. He said that the DoorDash thing was kind of tacky, even though probably his people helped him with it.
Sure.
And I thought that was refreshing.
Okay. What else is he honest about? Maybe something more important to our policy, whether domestically or foreign.
I think he's honest that the Iranians are kind of suicidally crazy, and
where's
that
the
them
proof
having
of
a
that?
nuke is. What was that?
Where's the proof of that?
You really can't prove anything. You just got to go by your instincts and your gut.
So then he's just saying shit. That's not truth.
You don't think the Iranians want to kill most of the Jews?
No, I don't think that. I think they want Israel to leave them alone.
Do you think it would be a good idea to maybe move Israel to South Africa so they're kind of away from all the people that hate them?
No, I think that the Israeli state, as in the government, not the people, need to stop fucking with other countries and stop genociding humans is what I think they need to do. I think we need to remove Netanyahu or at least cut off his funding.
And what would be a good way to remove Netanyahu?
Cut off his funding.
Do you think military force would be possible?
I don't think we need to send our military over there. We can just cut off the spigot, stop sending money over there and let them deal with themselves and stop letting him drag us into bullshit.
But I think the Israelis kind of have their hooks in everybody, and they can generate their own money.
Oh, the Israelis?
the Jewish people, the Israelis, whatever the
Do you know?
political
No, those are
correct
not the
term of the
same
day
thing. Those are not the same thing. I am talking about the government. You're talking about the people, which is where we get into conspiracy theory. Do you know who the Bilderberg Group is?
Are they kind of in control of the banks and
Oh
everything else?
no, you're talking about the Rothschilds. Do you know who the Rothschilds are?
Yeah, I think Rothschild came from the term red shield
Hey,
because they had a red shield in their pawn shop.
hey, Nazi, get help. Anyway, how many taps we got? You guys are doing wonderful on the taps. Jesus Christ, thank you.
By her husband. In one detail that we learned, she was alleged to have ordered staff in her office at the Department of Labor to do personal chores for her, including cleaning out a personal clothing closet. And this is just one of many things that are detailed in these 3 complaints that we learned about exclusively yesterday.
So her husband has multiple sexual assault allegations against him. She has allegations of a hostile work environment, also drinking. So that's really fun. We love to see that. And then as a major pivot, I just wanted to, again, remind you all that there are a bunch of elections happening today, April 21st. So make sure if you are in states for elections that you do that. Actually, here, I'll bring up that again. We went over it yesterday during midterm Monday, like we always do. But specifically, one that's really important. I mean, they're all important. So if you're in Colorado, Florida, New Jersey, South Carolina, Virginia, Virginia, you have elections today in specific areas, okay? This one's the big one, and that's the clip I'm going to play of Donald Trump. This is Virginia. Virginia, you have a special ballot measure election today about redistricting. Donald Trump wanted to start that fight. You voted. I'm so proud of you, Progressive Possum. Good job. I'm so fucking proud of you. Redistricting. Donald Trump started this shit. Now he doesn't want to finish it because he's losing. Why? Because he is ensuring that Republicans do it in a way that does not include the voter. And so it's getting struck down in court. However, California, Virginia, other states are doing it by including the voter. That's going to be a lot harder to take down, and now he's scared.
This is what they're going to be doing with this referendum. If the Democrats, look, if they get additional...
Uh-oh. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
My age is 50 years old. I'm from Kentucky.
I'm sorry, could you say that again? You cut out a little bit.
Oh, I apologize. Hold on a
You're
second.
okay.
I'm 50 years old. I'm from Kentucky.
Okay, who'd you vote for?
I voted for Donald Trump
Okay, why are you still supporting Trump?
because of my wife.
Because of your life?
She is from
your
my
wife.
wife.
Okay.
She is from Cuba.
You support Trump because of your wife.
Because she's from Cuba. You know Cuba?
Mm-hmm. I'm aware. We're starving them. It's great, isn't it?
She loves it.
Yeah,
she,
cool.
she asked you. No. She goes. We asked for it.
How so?
Because they want freedom. Do you know in Cuba you can't eat beef if you're a certain level?
You can't.
If you're not a certain level, you can't eat a cow.
Okay.
You can't go get a steak
Uh-huh.
if you're not a certain level.
What's the embargo on
And I
Cuba
walk-
about?
Oh no! I walk. So you're gonna argue. So you're gonna tell
No,
somebody.
I'm
who's actually
asking you.
been
It was a
through this.
question.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question? I apologize.
How long has the embargo been on Cuba?
A couple of months now.
A couple months?
You talking about Trump doing, or you talking about the whole life? That the whole thing.
How long has the United States of America, the government, had an embargo on Cuba?
Okay, what does that matter?
You don't think that has an effect on what's going on in their country?
You told my wife that, so you know. My wife came over here legally
Cool.
20 years ago.
Yep, the
20
embargo's
years
been
ago.
longer than that. She grew up in a world
Okay,
never
you're talking
knowing
about
Cuba without the embargo. So you don't
Okay,
think
you're
that has
telling
an
me
effect on the government?
No. Hold on. She'll be home in like 15 minutes. You want to talk to her? She was there when she seen her kids and her kids. I'm talking about her siblings. Like siblings. That's just their kids, siblings. Get brutalized, get tortured, get stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't think that didn't happen in Cuba?
Never said that.
You
I
told me
am
that didn't
asking
happen?
you if the embargo had any effect on what was going on in Cuba.
No, it did not.
How can
No,
you?
she'll tell you it didn't. You know why?
How
Because
not?
Russia, Russia,
I do know
big
Russia.
country. Russia had a lot of. What? Tell her how she's wrong.
I don't need
I
her
want you to- I
anecdotal
want you- I
experience
want
of her
you-
also not
I want
understanding.
you-
I don't need her anecdotal experience of her also not understanding about the embargo and how it affected the economy
So
in
you're
Cuba.
telling people that really went through hardship.
No.
People that had it.
I'm not
She went
telling
through
them
Mexico.
anything.
She had to go. She went through Mexico. She had to go through Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. People are
And then she
fleeing
had-
here.
and then she
because-
had-
Why? Because people can't afford to live in Cuba. Why can people not afford to live in Cuba? Because we have embargoes and sanctions on them, so they can't get oil, so they can't have electricity, so they can't get food. We are actively shutting off. We are actively shutting off the power, and people and children in hospitals are dying.
So people over there, do you know there are actually people that have been fighting the government for over? Do you know what the Day of Pigs is?
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah.
What is the Day of Pigs? I bet you don't know it. What is the Day of Pigs?
It's when we tried to invade Cuba.
That is not exactly correct, but you're partially correct.
Okay. You describe it then.
The Day of Pigs is when John F. Kennedy said we're going to go in and help you out to invade Cuba, correct? And then the day that happened.
Hold on. Is that not what the fuck I just said? Is that not what the fuck I just said? We tried to invade Cuba. Is that not what the fuck I just said? Okay. I thought I fucking said it. I thought I fucking said it. Where we tried and we failed. 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 Where we tried and we failed to invade Cuba. How many times did we try? How many times did we try to assassinate Castro? How many times did we do that?
Multiple times. But we didn't.
Didn't
Cuba.
work, did it?
We did not invade Cuba. The idea. John F. Kennedy. No, we did not. John F. Kennedy. I'm gonna give you a history lesson.
No.
I'm gonna give you a history lesson. John F. Kennedy promised that we were going to do it. That's why I said you were partially correct. I said partially correct. But the day that it was supposed to happen, we did not go in. Because John F. Kennedy was too afraid of the challenge. But during that time, that was people in Cuba, the beautiful people of Cuba, who I loved, and my wife is Cuban, and I love with all my heart.
And she wasn't there during the Day of Pigs, was she?
Let's see. I'm 50 years old, so no, she was not.
Oh, okay. How old is your wife?
48.
Okay. Just checking.
I'm 50.
Okay.
That's 2 years difference.
I know. I'm just checking.
I'm checking with you too.
Cool.
Because you made a comment where I said partially, and then when I said, and I agreed with you, you tried to jump on me.
No,
to
because
make me
I
look
said
stupid.
no. I said the Bay of Pigs is when the U.S. tried to invade Cuba, and you said, "Well,
And
kind of, but
I
not
said
really." And then you
partially.
exactly described what the fuck I just said. You just mansplained
No,
it and
you did not.
repeated it.
You
mansplained it and repeated it. Again, I'm not here defending the government of Cuba and saying that there is not corruption and violence going on in Cuba. What I am saying is you cannot exclude the U.S. from that. I'm saying we are a contributing factor to that. That's what I'm saying.
And they will, and the Cuban, I'm not going to say all, but I got a big Cuban family. Okay, huge Cuban family. I'm not related to them, but I'm just telling you, most of them will tell you you're wrong.
They might not know their history. They might not know their history.
Oh, my wife
I
don't
talk
know
to,
it.
yes, I talk to
Oh
multiple,
my
I talk to
God.
people all the time who are part of the Latino community that I am also a part of, who are fucking ladder pullers and don't understand
Are you
immigration
Latino?
policy. Yes, I'm fucking Latina. Yeah, I am.
What are you? What are you?
I'm not from I'm from the United States, so I don't claim heritage in that way. I'm just saying I'm a white presenting Latina.
What are you?
What I'm saying, my
What
grandfather's
part?
side was Spanish. My grandmother's side was Mexican.
Spanish. Okay, you're from Spain. You say Spanish, that could be
My
Spain.
grandmother's side was from Mexico. Do your ears work?
Okay, Mexico is yeah. That one you said Spain. You didn't say Mexico. By the way, you said
stop.
Spain.
You didn't stop to listen. I said my grandfather's side is Spanish. My grandmother's side is from Mexico. You were ready to jump on the Spain conquistadors fucking colonization shit, and you didn't want to listen to the rest of the conversation. My point to you is that one, you as a white man speaking on your wife's behalf is disgusting. Two, the fact that I have talked to multiple marginalized communities.
Hold on.
I'm done. W Chicky, by the way, W Chicky, stop tokenizing my inverted color sister's island. W's to Chicky. I want to see big W's because Chicky sent me 50 for that. So we've got quite a few pocket kicks that I have a feeling I'm going to have to fucking use. Nobody is saying that Cuba is sitting as some perfect country that did everything correctly, that did right by its people. What we are saying is they were fucking hit on the head to start with. And every time they try to raise up, we hit them on the head again. Don't sit here and exclude us from what we did. Wild. Don't do that. The U.S. has culpability in what is going on in Cuba. Again, babies are dying. People are dying because we are blockading any kind of energy to them. When their hospitals shut down, there is a grace period between when the generators pick up. In that grace period, people die. I don't give a fuck what your wife thinks, that you passported your wife over here. Fuck off. That's why I asked her age. Because you white people be doing white men shit. Getting passport wives who just grovel at your white man feet for saving her from the tyranny of a communist country that's not communist. Absolutely not. Okay. Guess on to the next. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
My name's Dave. I'm 20, and I'm from Georgia.
Who'd you vote for Donald Trump? Okay. Why are you still supporting Trump?
So my wife's boyfriend said he'd buy me a Nintendo Switch if I vote for Donald Trump, and I have no morals because I'm fucking stupid.
Sounds about right, especially because that would have meant that he bought you a original Switch because the Switch 2 wasn't even out yet, so that's sad.
He bought me an off-brand Switch. He bought me I don't even know what this is.
Damn it.
Like, come on. You know, like, come on, man.
It sucks. Too bad you made that decision. Okay. Guys, I appreciate you. Let's keep doing all the good things while we're sitting here. Real quick, let me get to thank you for the 20 on PayPal, Lenati. W's to Lenati in the chat, please. Him using his privileged wife's story of migrating here is wild. Ever heard of wet feet, dry feet? Fucking ladder pullers. Exactly. Blaming you, it is not a ridiculous thing to say that so many marginalized communities do not know their history. Americans don't know their own history or don't accept it, don't want to be honest about it. So of course I'm not going to take her word for it. I'm not taking yours, but I'm definitely not taking hers because even though she came from there, she might not have an idea of the structure that got her there. I'm not going to argue her experience, that she might have seen violence, experienced poverty. I wouldn't argue with her about that. She probably did experience those things. What I would argue is where it's coming from. And you can't isolate it. Talk about the Bay of Pigs and then try to mansplain the Bay of Pigs when I said what I said. Cool. Sure. Whatever. Let me update this. That caller made you all mad. He made me mad too, but to be fair, like. All right, so again, Donald Trump is terrified. He started this redistricting shit, and he doesn't want to see it finished because Democrats are going to finish it and finish it hard. Apparently not, because you guys are real mad about this one today. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for? Hi, can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Hi.
When you figure out how to work a phone, we can do that.
This is what they're going to be doing with this referendum. If the Democrats, look, if they get additional House seats, at some point, if they get these additional seats, they're going to be making changes at the federal level. This is what they're going to be doing with this referendum. If the Democrats, look, if they get additional House seats, at some point, if they get these additional seats, they're going to be making changes at the...
Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Yes, I'm from Kentucky, and I am 45 years old.
Who'd you vote for?
Well, I voted for our Lord and Savior, John J. Trump.
Okay. Why are you still supporting Trump?
Well, how can y'all not support him?
I don't think that he has any policies that are beneficial for the American people. Can you tell me one and we can talk about it?
Well, he's making America great again. Have you seen your taxes? You got so much money back.
No, I actually still couldn't file taxes this year, and actually we got less than we did last year, so.
Well, how was that possible?
Donald Trump's tax plan, probably.
But he has no tax on tips and overtime. We made a lot of money.
Oh, really? How much did you make back on tips?
Well, I don't work for tips, honey. My husband works with overtime, and he got back quite a few thousand. It was like in the $6,000 range.
Was it? How were your taxes under Biden by chance?
Oh, well, they were awful, of course. Biden just ruined everything.
Yeah, what was Biden's tax plan? Do you know the name of it? What the bill was?
No, I just know it cost my husband money.
Oh, well, maybe that's because Biden didn't have a tax plan that was still Trump's tax plan. Maybe that's why.
Oh, well, I don't know about that because he was the president.
Yeah, that's not how that works, though. Tax plans are for 10 years. So 2017, it actually was a little less than that because it was going to expire in 2025.
I don't know about that, darling.
I know, you should probably look that up, sweetie. I don't know if that was a friendly trolling or not. The area code matched where they said they were from. It's totally possible.
Democrats, look, if they get additional House seats, at some point, if they get these additional seats, they're going to be making changes at the federal level. This is what they're going to be doing with this referendum. If the Democrats, look, if they get additional House seats, at some point, if they get these additional seats, they're going to be making changes at the federal level. This is what they're going to be doing.
So he's scared. You started this shit. And now if redistricting works in these states and they gain seats, you're fucked. And they know it. Tax plan every 2 terms. Yep, Soroski. I do wonder, Soroski, if you ever have a way to like Discord me or something and explain it. I've always wondered, I haven't had a chance to look it up. To be fair, I could just look it up. Why, like what stipulations were put in that I know that if no tax plan was passed, but before December of 2025, we would have gone back to Obama's. I just wonder why. Wouldn't we go back to just the TCJA? Like, I'm just confused on why it would be back to Obama's. Like, just a question. Again, I could have looked it up. It's one of those things that gets in my head and then goes out of my head and I forget until we talk about it. Okay. As you guys are mad about polls, Donald Trump is also mad about polls. And apparently we're just going to say that they were rigged. Of course, that page is gone now. Let me go and try and find it. If not, we'll just move on. That's totally fine. He did have a truth talking about how the polls are rigged. There it is. Let me get that one so I can replace it. All right. Israel never talked me into the war with Iran. The results of October 7th added to my lifelong opinion that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon did. I watch and read the fake news pundits and polls in total disbelief. 90% of what they say are lies and made up stories, and the polls are rigged, which is interesting because he has absolutely been touting the CNN poll that polled MAGA, people who identify as MAGA, still supporting Trump 100%. Am I shocked by that? No, you guys are in a cult. So Eli, he's not incorrect. Iran helped fund Hamas. So did Israel. So there's that. But now the polls are rigged. We just like the polls that are good to Trump, but we don't like all the other ones that are critiquing him, wanting him to do a better job. So the polls are rigged, much as the 2020 presidential election was rigged, except it wasn't. Again, 6 years later, where's the proof? Just like the results in Venezuela. Oh, by the way, I meant to talk about this. So remember yesterday, we played the Maria Bartiromo clip with Kash Patel, and Kash Patel was talking about how they're still actively investigating 2020 because it was rigged, blah, 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 blah. And the thing I didn't realize that he said, I was doing something else, was he said, we're getting the information we should have got 10 years ago. What year was 10 years ago? Just a math question.
2026, or no, 2016.
Was that before or after the 2020 election?
Before.
So how is Kash Patel getting information on the 2020 election from 10 years ago? Hello? Elliot, did you write it in here? I did not see it. Sometimes, if you see it too, sometimes my mods can write it in the live chat and I'll see it. But just interesting, he was incorrect on that. Okay, just like the results in Venezuela, which the media doesn't like talking about. Now, there is like talk about that possibly being rigged in Venezuela. I don't know what the fuck that has to do with us. That's him setting up there was some sort of foreign interference, I think. Which the results in Iran will be amazing. And if Iran's new leaders, regime change, there was no regime change, still the same regime, are smart, Iran can have a great and prosperous future. Interesting. Is Moni short O sound or long O sound? Oh, it's Moni, because it's Monica. Some people call me Moni, though. I don't really care, to be honest, how you say it. Say it how you want to say it. And then he started losing his mind a little bit. Shocker. Donald Trump's losing his mind. The Democrats are doing everything possible to hurt the very strong position we are in with respect to Iran. How are the Democrats doing that? How are the Democrats hurting the strong position? They're not in charge of the military. How are they doing that? Despite World War I lasting 4 years, 3 months, and 14 days, World War II lasting 6 years and 1 day, the Korean War lasting 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days, the Vietnam War lasting 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days, and Iraq lasting 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days, they like to say that I promised 6 weeks to defeat Iran. And actually, from the military standpoint, it was far faster than that, but I'm not going to let them rush the United States in making a deal that is not as good as it could have been. He was the one who said 6 weeks. And then he added 2 weeks onto that. He's the one who says we've won over and over, but we still need to be there. Also, again, for the second time, he listed all of these wars that the United States was involved in. Why didn't he list Afghanistan? Could it be because he was also president during that time and it didn't end under him? For the second time, he didn't mention Afghanistan. Just a thought exercise for you maybe later. I don't know if you can confront that. That one must be tough for you, I know. Why didn't he mention that one, I wonder? Cool. I read the fake news saying that I am under pressure to make a deal. He is looking for an out. He is looking for an out because why? We heard him say that we're going to leave regardless of whether the strait is open or not. Why are we still there then? I think you do have pressure to make a deal because this was a dumbass decision. This is not true. I am under no pressure whatsoever, although it will all happen relatively quickly. Time is not my adversary. The only thing that matters is that time needs to be more adversarial. Time is not ticking the way that bitch should be. I'm just saying. The only thing that matters is that we finally, after 47 years, straighten out the mess that other presidents let happen because they didn't have the courage or foresight to do what had to be done with respect to Iran. We're in it, and it will be done right, and we won't let the weak and pathetic Democrats, traitors all, who for years have been talking about the dangers of Iran. That's true, they did talk about the dangers of Iran, and that something has to be done. But now, since I'm the one doing it, belittle the accomplishments of our military and the Trump administration. No, nobody is belittling the accomplishments of our military. We actually support our military and what they're doing. We feel bad that they have to be under you. Oh, absolutely, Chris. If a deal is done, it is going to be the JCPOA with Trump's signature on it. If not, a little bit of a worse deal than the JCPOA. Absolutely, that's what the fuck is going to happen. Speaking of. I'm so sorry. I don't know why she yells. She has a fucking microphone. She has a microphone. I don't know why she yells. But she does.
Are you suggesting that Obama's leadership on Iran was better? Because under President Obama, there were 14 wire transfers to a... Hold on. There were 14 wire transfers to a Swiss account linked to Hezbollah between 2014 and 2016. That was a total of $1.7 billion.
Let's talk about the $1.7 billion that everybody talks about. Everybody calls the $1.7 billion the frozen assets. It's not, actually. I meant to tell RTP this from yesterday because there's an update on the numbers. The $1.7 billion was actually a arms deal that fell through, that we didn't follow through on from the 70s. We had agreed we were going to sell them arms. Exactly, Peabody. We owed them money for arms, and there was interest on top of that. I believe it was $400 million for the arms deal, and then there was the interest tacked on top of that, and it was court-ordered, correct? And so we had to give that back to them. So she's going to talk about this in an incorrect way and talk about it as if there was money given. Then she's going to move on to pallets of cash. What she's then talking about, which is what I think RTP missed, is there was a conversation about $150 billion of frozen assets that was sanctioned frozen money to be given back. But specifically because of fees, things like that, which... Hold on, we'll talk about that in a minute. It was going to be 50, so not 150, it was going to be 50 billion. And it was given to them in francs and in euro. It was not given in US dollars. It was not US dollars. It was given to them in other currency, and it was their money that we'd frozen. If any other country had frozen United States assets, what do you think our reaction to that would be? By chance. You think it would be good? I think it's silly that we are allowed to just freeze other countries' assets in and of itself. Yeah, we would just bomb them. Audrey, exactly. We would just fucking bomb them. Like, that's what would happen. You're going to freeze our money? Fuck you. Like, and Iran didn't do that. They just dealt with us until we gave our money back. We had very specific stipulations on that $50 billion that you could not spend it on terrorist ventures. Now, did some of that money end up in Hezbollah's hands? Yes. But we did have oversight. We did have restrictions on that money, Rages in America. But the $1.7 billion that Maria is absolutely going to be disingenuous about was an arms deal that was court ordered that we had to refund that money.
Saying $1.7 billion he told Congress was
and again, she has a microphone right here. Why is she screaming? But I digress.
Frozen Iranian assets. Now, there was a back channel to Tehran through Valerie Jarrett active for 2012 to 2024. This was after he left office. So, you know, it was almost like a shadow government. He also sent pellets of cash in a plane to Iran. Now, why?
Sorry, not pallets. I was incorrect when I said she would say pallets earlier. She would say pellets. Pellets of cash. Okay. Just want to be clear on that.
Why would you send money to Iran knowing that they are building a nuclear weapon and they are the leading sponsor of terrorism?
Barack Obama was a great statesman who left America much safer. I wouldn't put Donald Trump in the same paragraph. The reality is when President Obama left, because of the great efforts of people like Valerie Jarrett, we had 97% of the enriched uranium out. The reality is we didn't have 13 American service members dead. The reality is we never had gas go up.
97% of the enriched uranium was out of Iran because of Obama and the Secretary of State at the time, John Kerry. Not Hillary Clinton, John Kerry, the Secretary of State at the time, and the JCPOA.
Up from $2.30 to $4. The reality is we did not give China more role in the region. Let me finish, Maria. I'll let you finish.
Okay,
we didn't give China more role in the region. We did not give the IRGC a more hardline regime in there. You know why? Because Obama actually did his homework. He actually tried to engage in statesmanship. He got China, Russia, the entire European allies on board with getting Iran on a path to not having a nuclear weapon. All Trump did is listen to Netanyahu. That's his entire foreign policy. And you know what? I resent the fact that Israel is going to tell the United States what to do. The American president should call the shots in this country.
And, well, the American president should call the shots in this country, but you and your colleagues are trying to clip his wings right now with this war powers vote. I agree. The president is in charge. But look, a lot.
Except for conflicts where he's only allowed to be there for 60 days without approval from Congress. So, because that's in the Constitution. You know, that piece of paper you guys hate so much? And he's trying to renegotiate a deal he pulled us out of.
A lot of the things that you just said are just not true, Congressman. I mean, look, we have to look at this realistically. And President Obama sent money to the Iranians. And what did they do? They resumed their buildup of...
That's not true.
No, they didn't. Proof?
Enrichment?
That's not true.
Yeah,
not true.
What's not true? What's not true? What specifically about that sentence is not true?
There was a deal that we reached to get 97% of the enriched uranium out. In the process of that, Iran had certain assets that were Iranian assets. Wasn't our money. That was unfrozen, and that was
also that's a great catch, quintessential. When how are the Democrats clipping his wings and the Republicans are holding all the power? He won everything. A mandate. He got a mandate in the House, the Senate, and the presidency. But it's the Democrats. It's always the Democrats. Damn it. I would have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for you meddling Democrats. It doesn't know how numbers work.
a deal that China, Russia, France, UK, Canada, the United States all agreed to. And then you had Netanyahu come in and try to torpedo it and ape
their money. Yes, he sent them their money. Oh, what was that reporting we talked about the other day about possibly sending them $20 billion? Okay.
AIPAC tried to torpedo that deal. We were on a path to having a denuclear Iran, but what happened is it wasn't in Netanyahu's interest and AIPAC's interest, and they've dragged us into another war in the Middle East. They've hurt American people, and the American people are tired of it. They want people who are going to be Team America. They want people who are going to bring gas prices down here and care about our nation and get us out of these wars, and that's why Obama won. He was against the Iraq war. That's why he was on a path to normalization in terms of getting Iran to be denuclear and had the whole world on our side. And AIPAC, Netanyahu tore that up.
Relax. Congressman, it doesn't...
Relax. Bitch, you're the one screaming.
Change the fact that 10 presidents before President Trump all said the same thing.
I think there's some connection issue.
Congressman...
Now I can hear you.
Congressman, it doesn't change the fact that 10 presidents before President Trump all said the same thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Sure. They are the leading state sponsor of terrorism. Okay. They cannot have a nuclear weapon.
One president delivered, and that was Barack Obama.
No. And one president delivered, and that was Barack Obama. by ensuring that their enrichment stayed low, by ensuring we had oversight of the sites for their enrichment. That is the only president who did something about it. And Donald Trump, who cannot stand Obama, wants to tear his name off of everything, got us out of that deal, started a war with Iran, all so that we could probably get to the same standards as the JCPOA with a worse cap. That's where we're looking at. Going back to the JCPOA so that he can sign his name on it and say, I did it, and I did it better than Obama did. And that's why RTP made a great point yesterday. That's why he uses his middle name. He says Barack Hussein Obama so that your brain gets all Islamophobic and you stop listening and you just feed into your hate. Obama was the only one who did anything about it.
That's not true. Not one
Barack
of them did
Obama is
anything
the only
about
one who
it.
delivered.
Congressman, you're talking fantasy.
97%
Obama
out.
did nothing about it. You're talking
97% of their enrichment was out of the country. He did nothing?
fantasy. Obama did nothing about
Not true.
it. Other than send money to the
Obama
Iranians.
got the whole world. He didn't send money to them. That's just factually false. He unfroze Iranian assets, but he had the whole world behind us. How many countries do we have behind us now? Obama had Russia, China, Canada, UK, France, the whole world on board, and they lost 97%.
And she's laughing because she can't go against it. She knows she can't say that that's wrong because that's the truth.
Congressman, now you lost me. Saying Obama had Russia and China in their corner. I think you know better than most that Russia and China are not in our corner.
On the deal. They agreed to the deal.
We will continue this
on
discussion,
this issue.
And we appreciate you. Thank you so much, Rokana.
Thank you, Maria.
You got it.
Bitch, just stop fucking. Her goddamn voice is so shrill. Yeah. I don't know. Ugh. I hate it. I loved this compilation that I found. They were talking about the polling again about, no, you're totally fine, Audie. I'm not going to pull it up on the screen, but I'm going to add it into the outline just to have in sequence with that. I think that would be beneficial, and I appreciate you for that. Thank you. Always with the facts. And that's what I love. So CNN was talking about the polling being 67% disapproval on Trump's handling of the war. And they go into a compilation of the amount of times that Trump has said it'll be over pretty soon.
Of President Trump's ticks, if you will, has historically been 2 weeks. Anything that's going to happen in 2 weeks, whether it's a plan or something is going to end or going to begin, that has been the case since the beginning of this war with Iran. Let's watch.
It's going to be finished pretty quickly. I do see a deal in Iran, yeah.
Mr. President.
Could be soon. We are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I think it's close to over, yeah. I mean, I view it as very close to over. I will say the war in Iran is going along swimmingly. We can do whatever we want. And it should be ending pretty soon.
It's going to end soon. So that's what the people are hearing.
It's going to end soon. He doesn't know. He doesn't know how to get out. He doesn't know how to get out. Also, Anthony, I would agree with you, but I actually think we need to stop this. I think on the left or on the progressive side, I think saying 25th Amendment is cope, to be honest. Like, I'm going to be honest about that. The 25th is harder to get done than impeachment and removal. And if we can't get impeachment and removal done right now, which we can't, the next step for that is going to be after the midterms. When we win back that House, and it's looking like we might take the Senate, and I don't know why I say we because I'm not a registered Democrat, but royal we on the left. When we take that back, then yeah, we can look at impeachment and removal. Exactly, Audie. The 25th is nearly impossible. I think that's just cope. I think that's just us knowing how decrepit and how deteriorated and how insane he is that we would love to see the 25th just to prove how insane he is and his mental deterioration. But I just don't think it's a realistic prospect. So here's Caroline Levitt coming on and talking about the fact that the media is trying to say, when in all reality, we've seen the polling, we have seen people, average Americans talking. It's what we hold on to. I know, I'm here to crush your dreams. I'm sorry, I'm too much of a realist for that, Hieronymus. I apologize. It only works if he strokes out but lives. I don't want the second part, Chris, so let's not do that. Talking about the media saying that the media is lying that we're worse off.
Finally had the courage to do. Our military took out more than 13,000 targets. The Iranian Navy is in the bottom of the sea. We have completely depleted their air force, their military, their ability for their leaders to communicate with one another inside this radical regime. Yet the American media is still trying to say that the United States is in a worse off position than we were at the start of this, that Iran still...
How are we not? How are we not worse off? The gas prices are up, even though they were actually starting to come down. The gas prices were actually coming down because the amount of import we had. But the gas prices were starting to come down from where they ended under Biden, which wasn't even that bad. It was like $74, $72, $74 a gallon, but we were down to like 68, I believe, before this started. Now the gas prices are sitting at 90 today. They went up as high as like 113. The strait was open. We had 13 more service members than we have now. You got people killed. Cool. We didn't double tap a school full of hundreds of schoolgirls. We didn't do that. I would have said that was better. How else? How else are we not worse off, Levitt? We did not need to do this, and anybody trying to convince you we did is a liar. We already spoke, correct?
Yeah, I just wonder why you hung up on me for.
If I hung up on you, I no longer want to talk to you. Do you know what consent is?
Oh, you can hang up now.
Cool. You'll learn. You'll learn what it is. It's fine. So how are we not worse off? Oh, I know, Ari. That's why I loved the Kevin Hassett clip, right? The Kevin Hassett clip about oil companies are doing great. Good for fucking them. What about the people? Because that's who you represent, not the oil companies.
Poses a threat. It's all a bunch of nonsense. They are rooting against this president and therefore our country, and it's really despicable to watch. But the facts are the facts. President Trump has been the steady leader our country needs throughout this entire...
Waffle Jackson, do you have proof or an article or anything that I can start to look into about the IRGC claiming responsibility about the school? Because I have not seen that at all. Our intel is showing it was us. Why? Because it was 2 Tomahawk missiles. So unless a NATO country that we sold them to Iran or used them themselves, it was us. So can you find that IRGC report or title or headline or tweet where they claimed responsibility for hitting the school? Also, yes, Raina, the damn summer blend. It came from their Telegram group. Where? Can you show me a headline talking about that?
Endeavor. And again, thanks to the success of the military operation and his hardline negotiating style, we're on the brink of a deal. And if not, the president as commander-in-chief still has a number of options at his disposal that he's unafraid to use. And President Trump has proven before he does not bluff. When he makes a promise, he follows through on it. And I'm not sure why, after 10 years of covering this president, the American media still cannot understand when President Trump says he's going to do something, he's going to do it.
Except for when he campaigns on no new wars. Except for that part. He lies about that. But we're not worse off. Sure, Caroline. Even more, we're going to put on our little, I mean, it's hard to say we're going to put it on because, to be fair, something is going on. So here's our tinfoil hat. But something is going on. There are missing scientists and dead scientists that are all having to do with intel in regards to Iran. And I think that that's a problem. And it sounds like James Comer is frustrated that he's not getting any help from this administration or the DOD or the CIA about it. And here's Comer talking about that frustration.
Well, look, what's going on in Iran has to do with nuclear.
Also, real quick, who was I talking to about that? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. I looked it up. IRGC claims responsibility for school strike telegram. I'm not finding anything. Nothing.
Capabilities and the United States not wanting Iran to have a nuclear weapon. We are the obvious leader in nuclear technology. These people that have either died or are missing now, these were the leaders in the research and helping to ensure that we stay the leader in nuclear technology. So that's why it's a concern. Every country wants to have our type of nuclear knowledge and our nuclear intellectual properties, but for whatever reason, we're seeing these mysterious cases of incidents with our nuclear scientists, and it's concerning. If it were, as you said, 3 or 4, maybe it's a coincidence, but with 11, and the way they've all, had different instances of death by shooting, missing, just mysterious illnesses. This is a concern, and we're taking it very seriously.
Well, like you,
and we should take it seriously, because that's a fucking problem. But for some reason, there's not a lot of talk about it, not a lot of information about it, but that's just happening. Let's go to economy. Yeah. Let's go to economy. I did love, Ari, if you're still in here, I did love your caller last night talking about the stock market, because I was thinking it in my head, right? This idea that the stock market reflects the average American's life in the economy is fucking so silly and brain dead of a take to me. Because I was gonna say, do you know when the stock market was at its highest before? Right before it crashed in 1929. You could say it was roaring. You could say it was the roaring 20s. Oh, until it fucking wasn't! Because the stock market doesn't fucking mean that. It's so stupid. Anyway, do you know what is? Here, Ari, I'll answer the question that he can't for you. Here is an indicator that although the stock market looks good, it's not going well for the people.
According to Realtor.com, home foreclosures jumped 26% in the first 3 months of this year. The foreclosure rates were highest in Indiana, South Carolina, and Florida.
There has been a rise of 26% in home foreclosures. That is an economy indicator. That is a recession indicator. I have talked about this before. I don't give a fuck what the stock market says. The stock market looked great before the bubble burst in 2008 too, didn't it? It did. Until it didn't. So, we are headed for bad things. I could see this being worse than 2008, but 26% increase. You can't post links in chat. That's fine. Give me the headline. Just give me the headline, Waffle. I looked it up. Yeah, the wealthiest 10% hold 93% of the stock. So I don't give a fuck that the wealthy are wealthy. All you're doing is fucking simping for billionaires if you're pointing to the stock market as your economy indicator. So then Hassett's gonna piss me off again, because he likes to do that. He is the NEC director, Kevin Hassett, and he was on with Joe Kernan. YouTube doesn't censor links. Oh, then he could post it. Try it, Waffle.
But 3.3 is definitely above what the Fed wants. That was the last
number, even if you use the core was 2 points.
Oh, God of War did it. Get a job, a real job. Seeing as my goal started out at 100, guys, I do still have, this is a great break. Thank you, God of War. You're such a good promoter. I appreciate that. I love the support. Guys, I do have 3-0 left in my goal today. I'm on for about 45 more minutes. If we could get that down, I would appreciate it. The link tree is in my bio. You can use Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. Put a lovely little message in there to me that I can read out to the world, specifically to God of War. We can show him that this is a real job that I do. Or if I hit my goal, I make $100 for 2 hours a day. That's a pretty damn good deal for what I do. So, tip your content creators. Make sure we show them that this is a fucking job.
3-3 is definitely above what the Fed wants.
Is that your teacher finger?
That was the last number. Even if you use the core was 2.6, obviously. That's still too high. So the president had, when he did this, he knew affordability was on everyone's minds and midterms are coming up. This is a tough sell at this point when everybody's talking about affordability, especially if you don't think that it was an imminent threat, which we're hearing now from certain people.
Well, I could give the other side of it, Joe. I don't think it's a tough sell to say that we just had a 0.2 at core, which rounded up to 0.2 from the ones. 2.6 is the lowest that core inflation has been since before Biden inflation started. And so we've made a huge amount of progress. And then you remember core excludes food and energy. But one of the things that was the best news of the CPI report is all the work that we've done to reduce the price of food. And so when I came in, the only thing everybody was talking about was the high price of eggs.
Correct. Everybody was talking about the high price of eggs.
Now, egg prices are so low that farmers are actually complaining about it.
Not because of Trump. They weren't high because of Biden, and they weren't low because of Trump. But go off, King!
Beef prices came down enormously because we opened up imports to beef. And so on. Even drug prices. Beef!
Beef. Oh, beef. Pause! Pause! Pause. I'm ready for this. I studied. I did it. I did the work. Beef. Beef. Oh! Wait. Where did it come down? Hold on. Okay. Let's do 5 years out. Oh. Ooh. Well, you know, that's okay. It started going up under Biden. That's true. That did happen. Okay, because there was a screw worm issue in the cattle ranchers. I read about that. I remember. Donald Trump took office here. Okay. So it was down a little bit. Okay. And we started going down, which, by the way, wasn't America first because we were importing Argentinian beef. Yeah, so not very America first. We didn't help the actual cattle ranchers. We just started importing beef from another country with a deal to do a lovely $20 billion currency trade with them. I think $10 billion was the currency trade. The other $10 billion was supposed to be just a loan. Love that. We love that. But okay, this is the lowest it's been under the Trump administration. Where is it now? Oh, wait, shit. Is that even higher than it was? Oh, no. Oh, no, Kevin Hassett. You lied to me. You lied to me, Kevin. I thought beef was down. Kevin! Damn it. Kevin. Excuse my stomach. If you could hear that, I apologize.
Have come down because of Trump RX. And so we made a huge amount of progress.
Also, no, prescription drugs have not come down.
On the individual items that affect inflation. And then we're also, of course, addressing the macroeconomic issue of how you get inflation down. And that's by being a supply side. So you got increased supply that puts downward pressure.
He's quoting trickle down right now. If you guys don't know, let's do a little history lesson. Okay. Under the Reagan administration, they purported something called supply side economics. Yes, Sarah Silverman vibe, except you're wrong, Captain. I'm Silver Saraman. Hello. My God, if my stomach doesn't quit right now. Supply side economics. Okay? The critique of it, saying it's going to be shit and not work for the people, was to call it trickle down. That was the critique of it, to call it trickle down. Now you've all adopted that name as if it's a good thing, as if that's what you should call it. And now we're trying to go back to calling it supply side. Supply side. Sorry, my stomach is freaking the fuck out. Sorry.
About inflation and cutting government spending, which went down by about the deficit by $400 billion last year.
But 3-3.
That's what I get for straightening my hair instead of eating a hash brown. I just want everybody to know that that's what happened. I should have fucking ate, and I didn't. And now my stomach's really fucking mad because she's like, bitch, you did a workout and you needed some fucking food. I had a yogurt drink. Damn, I'm drinking my water. Damn it. Okay. So then Trump went on to the Squawk Box with Joe Kernan this morning, yesterday, to lie about inflation, because that's what we like to do, to lie about inflation. And Joe Kernan, poor Joe Kernan, tried to tell the truth. Protein shakes. I need recommendations, Lakin. Recommendations for good protein shakes that aren't going to taste like ass. And also, I'm a sweet girl, so I need like strawberry cheesecake. I need like chocolate. I need recommendations.
I can send you what I get.
Yeah. Keep snacks near. Just in my brother's room. Remember, this is my brother's setup. Just a shelf of snacks.
Look, it's part of the bind, you know? It's that communism thing. You have snacks there, he has snacks in his room.
There you go. Yeah. To each according to their need, from each according to their ability. There you go. So Trump went on Squawk Box and he's going to lie about inflation, and even Joe Kernan tries to correct him.
I just want to return for 1 second and make an analogy here. You saw what inflation did to the Biden legacy and administration. So 22% price increases. By the time he was leaving, it was down to about where it is now, about 3%.
So Joe Kernan told the truth. When Joe Biden left, it was about 3% inflation. Trump's going to agree with that, right? Because that's the facts.
But not a single.
It was down to 5%. It wasn't down.
Well, or 3, but not a single person.
It was 5%. Hold on to that.
It was down was because I had won the election, and it started falling after I won the election, and I started getting prices down from right after November 5th.
Okay. Well, let's check that, shall we? Handy dandy inflation chart. 2000 through 2006. Okay. It was 5%, he said. Oh, you guys can't see that. It's really tiny. 2025, January. What number is that? What number is it? It wasn't 5%. It wasn't 5% at all during 2024, actually. At all. During 2024. These are lies. Do you know where they get these numbers from, sweetie? The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, honey. Captain. Try again. Captain Danger. The cope is wild. Joe Biden didn't do nothing about inflation. That's the reason we still pay more for groceries today. He was at 9%, except when he left, he wasn't, right? When he left, he was at 3%. Yeah, what you guys are talking about is right here. You're right. In June of 2022, he was at 9.1% inflation. Not because of anything he did, okay? But because of a global pandemic and supply chain issues, which we saw during the same amount of time in the UK, where they were at 11%. Okay? But when he left office, which is what the point is Trump lied to you, and he said 5%, it was at 3%. We're now at 3.3, so it's actually higher than when he took office. He's doing so great. We love that. He cut off all natural gas. Please, Eric, call in, please. I would love to have a conversation about that. Please prove to me where Joe Biden cut off all the natural gas. Waffle, I didn't see it because guess what? I'm running a show. I don't live for you. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps announced that this was an unintentional mistake and that serious action against... Where's the original headline, Waffle? I'll scroll up. We'll take our time and do this. I have no problem doing that. We're going to leave the inflation chart on them just in case people need to study things they've never read. Was that the headline? Where's that headline from? Come on, Waffle. You can do it. I believe in you. I do. I'll type this in. Gotta get some ASMR.
I'm so confused. What's going on?
Well, Waffle was going to prove something to me. I'm waiting to find it. PolitiFact. PolitiFact. The regime in Iran has now confessed that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps... Again, real quick, though, I just want to show that I typed in exactly what he said. Okay? Just proof. The regime in Iran has now confessed that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps mistakenly bombed an Iranian school yesterday. False. False. You're citing an X tweet. Iran has not claimed responsibility for deadly strike on girls' school despite social media claims. The regime in Iran has now confessed that the IRGC mistakenly bombed an Iranian school yesterday, killing many children. A March 1st X post said it had been viewed 5.6 million times by the afternoon of March 2nd. Another X post with 2.3 million views as of March 2nd said Iran admits it was an IRGC missile that killed 148 schoolgirls. The regime in Iran has now officially confirmed that the IRGC mistakenly bombed an Iranian school yesterday, killing many children. The posts include screenshots of Telegram account called Radio Gilan. It's not, except it's not. Neither the U.S. nor Israel have taken responsibility for the strike, and there's no evidence that Iran's government has either. Iran's government described the attack as perpetuated by U.S.-Israeli strikes. Thank you, Kayla, by the way. Iran's government didn't claim the attack. Immediately after the strike and in days since, Iran's government and state-run media blamed the U.S. and Israel, quote, "The U.S. and Israel launched an egregious, unwarranted act of aggression against Iran by indiscriminately targeting Iranian cities." Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghi said in a February 28th X post, in just one single case, they targeted a primary school in Minab, killing and maiming tens of innocent young girls. This is a blatant crime. Where? Try again, Waffle. You went to it yourself. Uh-huh. It's still under investigation. Right, but the investigation, our intel, the reporting of our intel is already saying that it was a Tomahawk missile, which they don't have. You see how easy it is to debunk shit when you just look it up? Try it sometime. You should try it sometime. Okay. Let's go back to Trump, who's now going to admit that he knew prices would go up. So that's lovely. Can I get W's to Oya, please, for the $5 on the Blue app? Oya said, Biden made the water turn frogs gay.
What about Biden?
Fucking Eli. I love Eli's contributions. So much. Terrorist nations position kids everywhere so they can indicate that children were killed in the attacks. Yeah, where were these kids? They were at school, right? They purposely positioned these kids at a school. Do we do that with our military base? Which, by the way, they were no longer on a base. They were just next to the compound. If you have read anything about this, you know that. They were no longer part of the military compound. They were outside of it, and they were just a regular school. But if you know anything about the U.S. military, as somebody who was a military brat, Olive can vouch for this as well. If you ever lived on base, there are schools on base. So I guess we are positioning children to be attacked, I guess. Cool. She proved she can read propaganda sites. PolitiFact is a propaganda site now, Waffle? Actually, let me do Because this one's one of my least favorite things that people say. I bet they did one on this. They a propaganda site? Because I hate this one, and I correct people when they say it. How about this one? On COVID-19, Donald Trump said that maybe if you drink bleach, you may be okay. Joe Biden said this. Why is it mostly false? Because he didn't actually say that. No, Trump didn't tell Americans infected with the coronavirus to drink bleach. Is it propaganda now? Because this is one of my favorites to go against people on. They say, well, he said drink bleach. No, he didn't. He never said that. Is it propaganda now? Okay. Moving on. Donald Trump knew the prices were going to go up, and he says it's whatever. It's peanuts.
And they said, wow, that's going to be bad. I said, yeah, it's going to hurt the market, and it's going to drive up the price of oil and whatever it is. But that's peanuts compared to what would happen if we let this happen. And I told them, 47 years other presidents wanted to do it. They never had the guts, the courage, and they...
So it doesn't matter. But I like bleach. It's crazy, Jim. I'm a treasonous communist that wants to see America fail so our communist friends can take over. Who are our communist friends? Can you enlighten me? I am in the group chat. So, who are the communist friends? I just want to know. Eric. Could it be, maybe, that I just think our country can do better and I don't glaze one 79-year-old man's orange motherfucking taint because he's actually not doing anything for the American people? Could it be that? Could it be that I love my country so much that I know how much better it can be? That I'm not going to glaze this man. I'm going to call him out for his bullshit. Could it be that? Or yeah, it's the other thing, that I'm just a communist traitor who wants to bring in communism. Sure. Sure, that's what it is. Speaking of economy stuff, so the site has opened for businesses to be able to request refunds on the tariffs. If you remember, SCOTUS ruled that he could not use the IEEPA tariffs. The IEEPA tariffs are meant to be emergency use under a national security threat. He could not prove that. He could not prove his use of it being justified or constitutional, and so SCOTUS struck it down. Here is Donald Trump complaining about that strike, but also because he's being asked and told about the fact that we're going to have to repay this money. I will get into, there is some CNN reporting about the fact that it's not going to be us who paid the tariffs who get money back. It's going to be the corporations who made more profit because they raised their prices because Donald Trump did these dumbass fucking tariffs, are now going to make more money off of being able to get refunds from these tariffs. Great fucking job, MAGA.
And because of what they did, we have to pay back $160 billion. All they had to do is add one sentence, just one sentence. And that's, you don't have to pay anything taken in thus far back.
Which they were never going to do because that's not what SCOTUS does. SCOTUS does not rule on other things. What SCOTUS does is they rule on the issue in front of them. Yes, refunds that we pay for with American taxpayer money. What happened to the shelf? What happened to the tariff shelf that we supposedly were going to pay down the debt with, that we were going to pay farmers, give them a bailout because we needed to bail them out again because of these tariffs because China stopped buying our soybeans. So we needed to bail them out again. Okay, so we've got paying down the debt, paying the farmers. Oh, we were supposed to get checks too. We were supposed to get tariff checks from the tariff shelf. Never got those. Doge. I forgot about Doge, which wasn't tariffs, but that never came. But where were the tariff checks? That never happened. What else? Oh, anytime that we have anything we need to pay, Donald Trump said, check the tariff shelf. Now we have to pay that back.
But because they didn't add, and by the way, it was a close call, too. There were justices that were powerful that I was right on the tariffs. But because we lost by just 2 votes, just little vote, 2 votes, we have to pay back $165 billion. They could have, with a little one sentence, you don't have to pay back tariffs that have already been received. You start from this point. and you do it a different way. So we're doing it a different way. We're going to end up with the same. Actually, we'll end up with bigger numbers, actually, but it's a little more unwieldy, but it's the way it's been done. But it's so...
It hasn't. He'll probably get struck down on those too. We went over them. The day, or the day after the SCOTUS decision, when he held his press conference bitching and crying and whining, because that's all he does, we actually talked about the specific stipulations in certain laws that he named, and we talked about the restrictions and the stipulations of those. There, Soroski yields. I'm actually surprised the bond market's doing as well as it is. I think they're just trying to ignore him, or they just don't know their head from their ass. Do we know? Do the frogs know we got soybeans? Yeah, they are soy beta cuck gay frogs. Oh yeah. But yeah, we went over them, and there are stipulations in those too. He cannot use them in the way he's claiming he can. So he'll probably be back in court if he does decide to do those.
Mr. President, the Supreme Court didn't want to save our country with one sentence, $165 billion, and we're giving a lot of that money back to people that hate our country. So I'm not happy with the Supreme Court, I'll be honest with you, okay?
Who pays a tariff? Since we got to do that. But here's the CNN reporting about all that this did, which Donald Trump, it could have been in plan the entire time. To be honest, all it did was make the rich richer. I don't think that this piece goes into it, but if you know, is it Steve Witkoff? I think it might have been Howard Nutlick too, that they both shorted the market. They sold insurance to corporations for the tariffs. They said, if you can't afford it, we have insurance for you. But if we have to pay it back, you have to pay us. So they were intentionally going against Donald Trump's tariffs, knowing SCOTUS was going to overturn them. So Howard Nutlick and Steve Witkoff and his son made more money going against the government. This is all a grift. Yeah, there was tariff insurance. I think Nutlick was shorting the market, like betting markets. So I think he was saying, like, will it get overturned? Like, he was buying into that the tariffs were going to be overturned, betting against the government's actual actions as he's in the government.
You do. They always give you the extra samples, but for the rest of us, no, not necessarily, right? So the problem is that those costs didn't 100% filter down to consumers. Okay, so what are we talking about? When we were talking about higher prices because of tariffs, a lot of that was eaten by the businesses themselves, and that's why inflation, which was predicted to skyrocket, never really did. And so if you
And we talked about that. There were specific companies, Costco, Procter & Gamble, who came out. Procter & Gamble was the one I remember because they came out recently and said we can't eat it anymore. They said we have been eating the cost and we no longer can. But there were companies like Costco who did continue to eat the cost on tariffs, excuse me, which again is why he's saying we didn't see the skyrocketing inflation that we expected to see. Also, there was a lot of tacoing going on.
You're a business, you say, well, wait a minute, we've been paying a lot of this tariff cost. We didn't raise.
Oh, why did I? Did you guys not see that entire time, or did I get rid of it, even though I wasn't done? I don't know what I did. I apologize. I'll go back this way.
And so if you're a business, you say, well, wait a minute, we've been paying a lot of this tariff cost. We didn't raise our prices necessarily. So why are we going to give a consumer back that money? Well, some consumers actually did end up paying a little bit more. On average, the Tax Foundation says about $1,000 per family in added tax expense because of the tariffs last year. That's not nothing. It's just complicated to get that back. And other than extra free samples at Costco, which I love, I don't think that we're going to be getting a lot of treats lately.
Right. The people aren't going to do it. The companies will get it, which is great. Yeah, we do love Costco, though. Good for them. Holding true on what they said. Okay. The time I have left, I want to get into this a little bit before we end. No, I've got time. I don't know where to add that one. Maybe. Yeah, we'll do this one first, and then we'll get into that. Okay. So, the Trump administration, the RFK raccoon penis collecting RFK Jr., has been railing against the mRNA vaccines, the mRNA, for a long time. And yet, we saw that I did the story where they went back on it, and they were starting to fund it. And so Caitlin Collins is going to ask this particular person within the FDA, why the backtrack? Why the funding? Even though the Trump administration is still removing funding from other mRNA research, this one for pancreatic cancer is fine. Where's the delineation now?
Researchers are seeing promising signs for mRNA vaccines when it comes to treating pancreatic cancer. As you know, that is one of the deadliest cancers. It does come months after HHS and the secretary there canceled $500 million in funding for mRNA vaccine contracts. Do you think in light of this new research that HHS should rethink that decision?
Well, first of all, Caitlin, I've taken care of pancreas cancer patients at Johns Hopkins for over 2 decades. I'm ecstatic to see some exciting new treatments for pancreatic cancer. We've issued a national priority voucher for another KRAS inhibitor, another class of medications separate from that of the vaccine treatments. There's a number of exciting treatments. And when it came to the mRNA vaccine research from HHS, I was very clear. We are excited about that potential technology. We just felt like it should be the companies that made $50 billion from mRNA technology during the COVID pandemic that should be funding their own research, not taxpayer dollars. Taxpayer dollars should be going for research that nobody else in the market or investor community will fund. So this research was privately funded, and as you can see, it is potentially.
See, they're already mad. Steve says you said MNRA, which is not how you say it, but mRNA is evil. Okay. Except that we're seeing promising research for cancer.
Really promising. I'm looking forward to those applications coming to the FDA.
If it's a matter of these companies having enough money to fund their own research, when HHS canceled those contracts, they didn't mention funding in the statement. Instead, they said that they were turning towards safer, broader vaccine platforms. They seem to be casting doubt on mRNA itself.
Well, let me give you, first of all, we've approved 2 mRNA updated shots in the first year of the Trump administration.
Steve, read the studies. Read the studies that prove it works. They're out there for you. Yeah, the Commie News Network that has somebody from the administration talking.
Year of the Trump administration here in this term.
He's the FDA commissioner under this administration.
What we are funding with the money from ARPA-H that was going to mRNA vaccines are things that otherwise would not be funded that could have profound impacts for those with deafness, blindness, cancer, areas that are in blind spots in American medicine and in research. Let me give you an example. Some of that money was diverted for a potential universal flu shot. That means that you could potentially get one shot with long-lasting, decades-long protection without having to get an annual flu shot each year. It could also...
Which would be great. We would love to see something like that, where you don't have to get a flu shot every year. You could have one for a little while. Interesting dynamic with, if anybody has seen this morning, that Pete Hegseth is now taking the flu vaccine off of the required list for the military. Love that.
Enable protection against flu strains that have yet to mutate. So it is an important pandemic preparedness thing. Companies are generally not interested in funding research for a new vaccine that's going to replace their annual vaccine with the annual revenue that comes in from those vaccines. So that's an example of sort of an area of research funding in medicine's blind spot that desperately needed funding.
I can agree with that. If there is a better way that offers the same coverage, that doesn't have to be every year, you can take some of that money out of the company's pockets. I don't have any problem with that. You guys seem to, as he double speaks on vaccines. All right, so I'm going to play this next video, and I'm going to play it with a preface, or with a conversation, maybe. I'm going to play this, but I think we have a misunderstanding on the left. That when somebody comes out who was heavily on the right, when they come out and they critique Trump or they apologize, I think there's a misconception and a misunderstanding that means we have to forgive them. That means we have to accept them. No. So when I play this, I don't want to hear, I'm not forgiving anybody. Nobody's asking you to. Just clear. Nobody is asking you to forgive them. What I am saying is I will take it if people that listen to this person keep listening to this person in way of Trump being bad for the people. We do not have to accept him on our side. They are not invited to our picnics. Nobody wants them on the campaign trail. I want the people who are their audience to listen to the critique. Okay? That was just my preface before we get into it. Because somebody is apologizing.
You and I and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him, I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure.
Yes.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now.
Yes.
So I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with.
Now that I will take. I'm not saying it's forgiveness. I'm not saying it's acceptance. I will take that as probably the best part of an apology I've seen. Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, Andrew Schultz have all come out, Megyn Kelly, have all come out critiquing Trump, correct? They have all come out critiquing him. He's crazy. They can't believe he did this. Although Joe Rogan was just in the White House with Trump. I don't want to talk about it. But what they have not said, yes, that's Tucker. What they have not said is that they contributed to it. Joe Rogan does not admit that it was him and his rhetoric that pushed people to vote for Trump. Alex Jones doesn't admit to that. Theo Vaughn doesn't admit to that. Megyn Kelly doesn't admit to that. Nick Fuentes doesn't admit to that. But Tucker Carlson is admitting he is part of the reason. Again, no forgiveness, no acceptance. But I'll take it if it means his audience is listening.
But in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now.
Yes.
So I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences. We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be.
I hope so. I hope you'll be tormented by it forever. I'm not sure. I keep waiting to hear like a name.
And I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people. It was not intentional. That's all I'll say. But anyway, but the question does present itself immediately. Like, what is this? Was this always the plan? You don't want to be a conspiracy nut, but like clearly there were signs of low character. We knew that.
Christian, if you're going to say that I'm one reason the left is lacking knowledge, use the right use of your, please. My one reason what? YOU''RE is you are. Try again.
Yeah.
Yes, it was intentional. Absolutely, Orbitus.
But it didn't. There are tons of people of low character who like outperform.
I agree, Mark. He cares about money and nothing else. I said the same thing in regards to Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens. I think she might have still critiqued him, but that's because she's crazy. If Donald Trump's current policies were polling well, they would still be on his side. Absolutely believe that. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
I'm 45 years old, and I voted for Donald Trump.
Did we speak already today?
Yeah, I was just curious because we were having a polite conversation and you ended it with calling me a Nazi.
Yeah, because when you refer to the entire Jewish population and not just the Israeli government state, you're a Nazi. And when you say they own the banks and that they're in charge of everything, you're a Nazi.
From their character. It doesn't happen.
But anyway, again, yes. If Donald Trump's policies were popular, they would still be supporting him.
Sort of the norm, actually, these days, I would say.
I've outperformed my character a lot. I don't have especially high character, right? But, you know, you try your best. But what was this? Was this always the plan?
You know, looking back after the last year and a half, it seems like it kind of was. And it's easy. Well, you could get really deep about it. And
I want to know who this is. It doesn't say. I don't know who that is. I'll have to look up the interview.
say, what was Butler? Like, how was it that and Ryan Ruth, I mean, he was subject to 2 legitimate assassination attempts. Have we ever gotten to the bottom? I know you've talked a lot about this, but have we ever gotten to the bottom of that?
I haven't talked a lot about it. I don't know the answer, but I know that those
Ooh, we'll get into that in a minute, too.
investigations have been stymied. Fact.
Yeah, stymied from the very top, from people who actually would have the power to get to the bottom of it.
And the motive.
Yes,
right? Yeah,
very much. So the enormous amount of money he got from Miriam Adelson now seems...
His name is Buckley Carlson. Buckley Carlson? That's what it says. I don't think that's right. Trump's speeches, Trump's shocking texts, and yeah, that's the guy. Where's Buckley Carlson? Trying to find something on him.
It seems suspect to a lot of people at the time, but, you know, there's a lot of money in politics to run for president.
Maybe. They do look alike. Are they just brothers? Did I not know this? Which is totally possible that I didn't know. Thank you, Papal. For the galaxy, I appreciate you. They look a lot alike. I think that might be his brother. Stop.
Requires an enormous... I mean... Cackling Camel Toe went through $2 billion in 4 months. So, sure, there's an argument to be made that you...
So this is what happens when you put Tucker Carlson in the air fryer. Oh, his uncle? Maybe it's his uncle. No. Stop. He's the younger brother. That's his younger brother. Stop.
What?
That's it. Just that he's younger. Tucker looks younger, but that's probably because he spent too much time in the air fryer. Yeah, drink water. Please. Everybody stop and take a sip. My God. Okay, anyway, I apologize. I'll let him talk again. I was just...
A lot of money in politics to run for president requires an enormous... I mean, Cackling Camel Toe went through $2 billion in 4 months.
See? They're still shitty people. Remember that.
So... sure, there's an argument to be made that you get money from those who will give it to you. It's just the nature of that game. But it's still reprehensible and it's still a big question mark. Why would someone who has obvious and demonstrated allegiance to a foreign power give Donald Trump $250 million while he's running for president? I mean, how is that defensible? It's really not. If Russia had given a PAC for Trump, you know, if the mayor of Moscow had somehow, you know, assembled an enormous amount of money and put it in a 501c3 for Trump's benefit, would that have been acceptable?
Because I didn't care who it was. The conversation was about Tucker Carlson's apology, brain injured. I have no problem learning new things on the fly. I wanted to know who it was. It's his younger brother.
Of course it wouldn't have been. So what does it's so basic, comes back to the money. Like, what did they get in return?
Wakandan, that's absolutely true. The only Kirk I like commanded the USS Enterprise.
For that amount of investment, and it's clear.
I get it. No, I mean, of course, I agree with every word that you're saying. I just think, given his behavior and his demonstrated disloyalty and viciousness to previous supporters,
yes,
why wouldn't he display the same lack of loyalty to Miriam Adelson? I mean, that's kind of the question. The only people he's been loyal to are the neocons and his donors.
Because it's more money. War has always been and will always be more money. Why do you do this? I have to press you a very specific way for you to go away. Okay. Did you figure out how to stay on a panel now, babe?
I went to mute and I pushed the leave live button. That is wild that he's the younger brother. He needs to get the F out the sun.
The sun is not his friend.
Yeah, not at all. Oh, your hair looks great today.
Oh, thanks. I need to get a new pink, though. Need to get pink again.
Yeah, it definitely needs like a refresh, but your color's like more prevalent when it's straight. It's not hiding underneath all them waves.
All the curls and shit, true.
Alrighty.
That's what you
I
came
forgot
up
what
for?
else I came up.
You just came up to
I
flirt
came up
with
for
me?
something else, but
That's a little inappropriate to flirt with my work wife in front of me, asshole.
Wow.
He said her hair's straight. She got her titties out. I need to.
You now.
Oh, God. He went back to Nom.
I didn't mean to make you mad. I'm sorry.
You made him travel back to Nom.
Damn it.
I love Tuesdays.
I love Tuesdays.
Titty out Tuesday.
Well, when you figure that out, still in Saigon.
You and your Luke Bryan PFP fuck.
Guys, we are getting close to the end of the stream, but make sure I do have 2-5 left to my goal. If we get that accomplished, I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it if we could work on that. Again, Linktree is in my bio. The Cash App, Venmo, PayPal are all in there. If we could get that accomplished, that would be awesome. So I did want to go to, since they were talking about the Butler thing, I just want to real quick point this out. CNN did some reporting on this specifically. I'm not making, before MAGA freaks the fuck out on me, I am not making any determinations. Joe Kent, who was part of counterterrorism, said they've had a hard time getting information about this. MTG, although I don't know why she thinks she would have information, but she has pointed out that we are not getting, why aren't we getting information about Matthew Crooks? It's weird. The other guy got sentenced to life in prison. Fucking good. He was obviously a psychopath. The man owned a bazooka. But why aren't we getting any information about Matthew Crooks? Aren't you guys curious? Because I'm fucking curious. Again, I'm not making determinations. I'm asking questions. Why aren't you asking them?
Tonight, former Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeting 3 times in less than 20.
Also, we're almost done and we couldn't get to 100,000 likes. Come on, guys. You can do it. If we can't complete the goal, we can at least complete the taps. Let's work on that. Oh, is Nightbot over there? Nightbot is a little excessive. So, Crazy Krabby, I apologize for that. I need to go into Nightbot's settings because that bitch is a Karen.
4 hours, raising questions about the 2024 assassination attempt of President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, which was so crucial to that election, including asking, quote, President Trump, of all people, should be leading the charge. Why isn't he? And she adds, why the cover-up? The former Trump ally joining a growing list of conservatives raising similar questions and demanding answers. Tony O'Sullivan is out front.
And what really frightens me and scares me and makes me angry is suddenly now I'm in on a conspiracy theory.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Some liberals have long dabbled in conspiracy theories about the Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania.
The first thing that ran through my head is because we cannot believe this man ever, that it was somehow fake.
Like these women I met at an anti-Trump protest outside the RNC a couple of days after Butler.
So you initially thought it was staged?
Yep. Yes, as we all did.
Do you still believe that?
Yes.
We don't know.
I'm not sure.
It's not impossible.
But I couldn't help but wonder because we've been lied to over and over by this man. The way he came up and raised his fist and acted like it was nothing.
Since the early days of the investigation, the FBI has repeatedly pushed back on conspiracy theories about Trump's would-be assassin, Thomas Crooks. Both Justice Departments under President Joe.
Thomas Crooks. I don't know why I keep calling him Matthew. I'm sorry. I said it wrong. Thomas Crooks. I've done that 2 days in a row now.
Biden and Donald Trump have found the same thing.
Just to be clear, did Thomas Crooks act alone?
Yes, based on the evidence that we have, that is the conclusive finding of the matter.
But over the last few weeks, as many are speaking out against the Iran war,
just admit you staged it in Butler. It was the heat of the campaign.
Is that not his middle name, though? Isn't it Thomas Matthew Crooks? I think that might be why. I think I'm just like cutting off his first name. I think that might be why, though.
Oh, the Butler guy?
Yeah, that guy. I'm pretty sure it's Thomas Matthew. That might be why I keep saying Matthew. Please be right, or else I'm just wrong.
Hold on.
It is now. That's not how that works.
It's Thomas Matthew Crooks.
Okay, that's why I keep saying Matthew. I just am forgetting the other part. Okay, anyway.
People do crazy things in campaigns.
prominent people who supported Trump's re-election campaign, like comedian Tim Dillon, have started to express doubts about what happened in Butler.
Tim Dillon, by the way, he comes up. I haven't shown any clips from him, but he comes up in all sorts of things, not just this. But he comes up on all sorts of things. Absolutely ripping into Trump.
That day, Trump survived, but Corey Comparator, who was standing in the crowd behind
I
him,
should wear
died.
this probably.
Now,
actually.
of course, a real person died, and that's terrible. R.I.P. And they should say that in high stakes things like this, stuff like that happens.
Joe, thanks a lot for joining us.
Butler conspiracy theories really started to pick up in the MAGA world after Joe Kent appeared on the Tucker Carlson show last month. Kent was a high-ranking intelligence official who resigned in protest over the Iran war.
I mean, we still don't know what happened.
Oh, no. Surgeon, I'm not advocating that people listen to Tim Dillon. I'm just saying, no. To me, that's like Joe Rogan, right? Like, you're ripping into him now, but... In
Butler. We don't know what happened with Charlie Kirk. And by no means am I saying, like, you know, the Israelis did this or any of that, but I'm saying there's a lot of unanswered questions there.
Trisha Hope, who is a Trump delegate at the RNC in 2024, has been vocal online about her doubts, posting, "Since the attempt on his life, Trump has shown no interest in investigating what really happened. He never mentions it. It's as if it never happened, except when he tells us he took a bullet for us."
Which is interesting because that man forgets nothing. He never forgets a slight. He never drops a grudge. So why this one? Why doesn't he want this one to get all the information out and be the most transparent president in history? Why not?
Marjorie Taylor Greene has shared Trisha's post, and she added over the weekend, "I'm not calling..."
Yeah, and it happened in Pennsylvania. Yeah.
The Butler assassination a hoax, but there are a lot of questions that deserve public answers.
The far more significant story involves the government, the DOJ, and the FBI, which have hidden from the public what they know about Thomas Crooks.
So it's interesting. Again, just asking questions. Don't know why you guys aren't asking questions. But just a thought. Okay, I've got two more, I believe. No, just one more. I'm going to end here. I don't want to get into that next one. I'll save that for tomorrow somewhere else. We'll end with this one because it'll make you nice and mad before we go. This is Anna Navarro. If you don't know, she was actually a registered Republican. She might still be a registered Republican. I'm not sure, but she left the party because Trump, like a lot of Republicans who are real Republicans, left the party because Trump, who has destroyed the Republican Party. And she's going to talk about you, MAGA. She's talking to you the same way that I'm talking to you. And I've said this before, and she's going to say it in a different way, but it's the same concept. He thinks you're stupid. And for some reason, you keep proving him right. So he treats you like morons. Stop doing that. He literally said, "Smart people don't like me." Who the fuck is he talking about then? Because I don't like him. Olive doesn't like him. My people don't like him. That makes us smart. You guys like him. That makes you dumb. They don't think they deserve better. Maybe they just need therapy, Eli. You're right. I promise you deserve better, sweetheart. And I know statistically that the portion in between where you are leaving is the hardest part. But I promise that we've got you. I promise that we've got you. Leaving is the hardest part, but take the step out the door. Okay? Nuh-uh, Daddy Trump loves us. Okay? Okay. You're MAGA, Whiskey? Yeah, smart people don't like him. You are the not smart. Congratulations. Good job. Proud of you. All right. We're at 94,000 likes. Maybe if you guys tap hard enough, we can hit the 100,000 before we leave. I'm done with the videos. That's it. That's all of the videos. I think we'll get into the Warsh hearings tomorrow. That's what I started building. I wasn't planning to do it today, though. But started building for that.
Too. I'll have to share them with you.
Of what?
The clips from Warsh.
Yeah, I've got some from Senator Warren, Senator Reid, and even Senator Kennedy, but I know there's going to be a lot more, so I'm going to get into that. I have started another immigration portion because Mark Wayne, baby back bitch McMullins, is always on some shit. So we'll get into that. So no peace talks. Yeah, no, so no peace talks.
Nope.
So let's see if we can get to 100,000 likes while I do my goodbyes and stuff like that, and my thank yous and all of that. Are you going live again, Olive?
Yeah. Okay. I got to get my 25 down and then get yours down too after.
So Olive's going to go live. Let me do my thank yous.
Okay, see you in a minute. Wee!
Bye! She weed herself. She weed herself. That's what I said. I said that. It's fine. Shut up. So we're going to do thank yous to Chicky. Thank you to Oya. And thank you to Lanati. Thank you guys so much for getting my goal down as far as you guys did today. I appreciate it. Kushner and Witkoff aren't going to Pakistan. Well, Iran said they're not going to Pakistan. They said there's nobody there. So I did see... I have no clue what it's from. Is it from a Mr. Bean movie? But he is... where he's standing there waiting, right? Like in the field. That one, that meme. But they superimposed J.D. Vance's face on it, just waiting in Islamabad for the Iranian reps to show up. They're not coming. I can't stop peeing. I can't stop. Yeah, we're going to do a Monty Wee raid, actually. That's what we're going to do because I'm... my words were wrong. So, okay. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. I will see you tomorrow. We'll probably be back to covered shirts depending on the weather here in Colorado. It's just really warm today. So you guys really did get the titties because I'm hot and I needed air and the computer's hot and it gets hot in here. It's a whole thing. So tomorrow, Wednesday, right? Wednesday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. I would appreciate it if you guys would show up and support the way you guys do every single day. And I always appreciate that. We raid. So over here on TikTok, I'm going to send you guys over to Olive. You guys are going to go We Raid Olive. On Twitch and YouTube, we will raid as well, but I can send you myself, so we will do that. So I appreciate you guys. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Love y'all. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves, meaning unplugging sometimes. I know it's the start of the week, so that's difficult to do. The weekends, it's easier to unplug, but make sure you do that. Whoa. What do you mean? Thank you, Selecta, for the $1.99 super chat. I would love to see the AI prompt for that Trump. For weeing? We know he likes, well, golden showers. So they say. All right. TikTok, go raid Olive. I love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Okay. Twitch, we'll get you set up over here. There she is. I'm going to raid her here. Over here. I got to go here, and you guys be nice. Do all the good things that we're supposed to do. And I'll see you guys later. Okay? Okay. Bye.
Country.